welcome to PRTV. We are actually having our third episode now, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Miss Deirdre Breakenridge. And I'm very excited to have this interview. I think that this is going to be one of our best, and I think we're just going to dive right into the questions so that you can learn about and a lot from Miss Breakenridge. And we also have her book right here, which I actually just recently reviewed, just in case you guys need another reminder to go and get it. So anyway, Deirdre, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, thank you.
Good. So basically my first question for you is, what was your motivation and reason for starting the PR Stud Chat?
Well, I guess after 22 years of being in public relations, it's so important to give back. So that's always something that's a part of me, and I really wanted to, not that I knew it would happen through PR Stud Chat, but it was one of those serendipitous moments where Angela Hernandez came out with a blog post that it was a series, and she was basically asking, is PR right for me? And she asked me that question, she interviewed me, and I was a part of her series, and that turned into so much talk out there on Twitter and on my blog that Valerie Simon, who I had only just met through Twitter, DM'd me, and we started talking about, is PR right for me, and how many different students and professionals, and how do we let people know? How do we answer all the questions that are out there from students? And that's sort of how it was born. So it's a little bit of me wanting always to give back, which is a great community, and just the way that it happened with Angela's simple post.
Now, how has it grown since you said it started in summer, right, of 2009?
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
And so how has it grown, and where is it going to grow, if you can give us a little preview of community coming up?
So it's definitely grown quite a bit. We're probably close to 2,000 followers on Twitter. I know that for a lot of our chat sessions, we've even trended, where we all get excited because someone will come and say, we're trending, PR Stud Chat is trending, and all us PR people, we start screaming about it. So
that's the goal.
But ultimately, the goal is definitely to grow the community, double, triple it. Main goal overall is to continue helping the students so that they can then graduate from being students, become professionals and or educators, and help new students. So there really is no cap on where it can go. And you saw we took it to a different level with PR Stud Cast. We have the blog now. We will be launching a few more exciting things, which I can't talk about yet. But definitely no cap on it. It can grow to infinity.
So I like how how a lot of professionals are involved too. That's really nice. So then we can have some back and forth.
All giving back.
Yep,
that's
absolutely.
Awesome.
So you've written 4 books, most recently putting the public back in public relations.
Yep.
And how did you decide to start authoring? And also, what was your favorite project that you've worked on so far as books? Okay,
well, the authoring, that was just a very lucky opportunity. I had just written an internet manual for a newspaper that was launching its internet site. So this was, I don't know, it had to be 250 pages. And my business partners at the time already had the relationship with my publisher. And I guess my publisher was talking about branding online and public relations, and my partner said, oh my gosh, you have to talk to Deirdre. They approached me. Now, meanwhile, as every public relations person, we all love to write. I mean, that's one thing. Absolutely. You have to love to write. And they said, how do you feel about expanding on the topic of maybe branding on the internet?
Sorry, your dog is just... Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
Is she on camera?
I don't know. But anyway.
So, how do you feel about branding on the internet? And I said, well, I just wrote a 250-page manual on internet and getting your brand online. Hey, why not? And that's where it all started. So it was just a serendipitous opportunity.
So what was been your favorite project? If you can pick one. I know that's really difficult.
I think my 2 last projects were my favorites. So putting the public back in public relations, it was so much fun to work with Brian. There's no doubt about it. Just a great professional. The dynamics going back and forth, sort of uncovering a path for public relations professionals That's truly exciting. So this was a great project. I love my PRTV book because I got to research and talk to so many different professionals. So that was exciting in and of itself, from the people at Cisco to Sun to all the different folks who gave me the interviews in the book. I just love that whole research process.
So this book is, like you said, it's co-authored with Brian Solis. How does the whole co-authoring process work? I'm just very curious.
It's a lot of fun, and maybe I was lucky because I hear horror stories literally about having a co-author and how things don't always go right. Brian and I were very much in sync. My other book, my second book, which was the new PR Toolkit, I was very much in sync with Tom DeLockery as well. And one of the things that made it so great was that we sort of, in areas, divided and conquered. So I don't know if you can tell, but there were chapters that I started that would then be passed over to Brian, that he would take a look at and then send back to me, and then it would go over to our production team. There would be chapters that he started that then I would go over. So it was always, we sort of had different areas that we selected based on our expertise, and then because we both looked at all the chapters together, it came together as one voice. And honestly, you know, co-authors are also as good as the production team and the editing team that you work with. It's so important that they're on the ball and they understand your voice and they understand what you're trying to do. So all around, we just had a great team for this book.
Yeah, the transitions are seamless. So you really
that's
can't,
good. So you can't tell.
No, you really can't. I've actually been curious as what parts are written by.
I started chapter 4.
Yeah. Speaking of another big project, you're almost at a year at Mango Marketing. You said February 1st is your 1 year.
Happy birthday,
amazing.
Mango.
Exactly. So,
that was my first video blog for Mango, was a birthday. It's on YouTube,
So we'll have to do a 1 year.
Yeah, I'll have to do a first year.
Yep. And so, what have been some of the most rewarding parts of this first year? And also, you were at PFS MarketWise for so long.
Yeah, long time.
How has the whole process been of rebuilding? Rebuilding something and something successful.
That's right, because PFS was a very different agency, and what we realized that because there is this hybrid or blend with the traditional, the digital, and the social, you can't take social media and force fit it into a traditional communications firm. So we sort of put PFS to rest, and this whole Mango was born, and it has been really exciting. It's challenging because as an entrepreneur, we all do the same thing. The sky's the limit, and we want to go off in so many directions. But the second time around, you learn to watch your growth. You want to take things, it's slow, it's calculated, a lot of strategy. You want to make sure you have the right team on the bus. That comes from the book Good to Great, Jim Collins, awesome book. So there are a lot of things the second time around that I think I'm able to do better as an owner of a company.